Alright, so I kind of wanted to make a follow-up video to the last video I put out, which was talking about quitting caffeine. And I had several people comment on there about working out and exercise performance. And I did mention in there a little bit about exercise performance as well. And I just thought this would be a good follow-up video because it's something that is important to me as I've been working out for almost a decade now. And I am very interested in my performance in the gym and just my performance in day-to-day activities at work and just going about life. I want to feel energized, I want to feel good. So I wanted to put out a video for you guys who, either work out, want to get into working out, or you just want to feel great and you don't think you have the capability doing that off of caffeine. I wanted to make a video to give you guys some tips and recommendations to help feel more energized, to actually have real energy, and to just maintain and even improve your performance in the gym while off of caffeine, because I know it can be daunting, it can kind of be intimidating, like am I going to be able to keep the same strength levels, am I going to be able to perform the same off of caffeine? And I'll be the first one to tell you, you will definitely perform the same, if not even better, when off of caffeine, because I've seen that in myself. And I was training for already 8 years, or no, 9 years since last year. I've been training for 9 years already by the time I quit caffeine, so I noticed great improvements in 9 years of training. If you've been training less than that, or you're a beginner, you're going to see even better responses to quitting caffeine for your training, because you won't be so acclimated to it during your workout. And I used to be a big pre-workout taker before I would train. I'd always rely on that caffeine to just get me amped up and wired up before the gym. But since I've quit, my performance in the gym has increased. I know it's weird, surprisingly, but it definitely has increased. I think it's one because of my focus in the gym. I'm just a lot more stable and calm and able to focus on the weights and the form and really being present there in the gym, and it's a lot more enjoyable that way. And two, my sleep quality has improved tremendously. That's another huge contributing factor to why my workouts, recovery, and therefore performance have increased in the gym. I can't talk about sleep enough, guys. Quitting caffeine will improve your sleep quality drastically. If you have trouble staying or falling asleep, your number one thing should be, am I drinking caffeine? And if so, it's probably time to eliminate that from your everyday diet. So I just want to jump in and give you guys a couple of tips on what I do before the gym and what makes me feel great whenever I'm looking for energy, some sort of boost, or just to perform and recover well in the gym. So there's a couple of different ways you can go about it now that you've quit caffeine. You could do this while you're on caffeine as well, and you'll see improvements, but this is really the two ways I see it now. The first group's going to be intermittent fasting. I can make a whole separate video on that, but the first group is going to be the people who feel really good, really energized when they're fasting in the morning, or whenever your fasting period is. If you feel great while you're fasting, you can definitely work out while you're fasting. I did intermittent fasting workouts for like 4 or 5 months. I saw great results. Your performance expected to decrease maybe 5%. So if you squat 300 pounds, expect to maybe only be able to squat for 1 rep max 285, 290 pounds. It's a very minimal decrease in performance, if you even notice it. I definitely noticed it in myself, so I switched back to eating a small meal before I work out. So you might have to move your day around for that, but do whatever way is going to best suit you. Let's say, for example, that you have work in the morning and you work really long and you can't afford to, work out later in the day and you have to train fasted, then train fasted. That's going to be the better option instead of skipping your workout entirely and not getting any stimulus in for your muscles or, strength. Now, what I will recommend though, if you're going to train fasted, is make sure you drink enough water before you work out. Don't just wake up and go straight to the gym. You need water for energy as well. It's very important. 80% of our body is made up of water, 70%, something like that. And you need to make sure you have enough water in your system before you train. I'd recommend, I always get a couple of water bottles in before I train if I'm going to train fasted. So that would be like 35 ounces of water, 34 ounces of water. I always shoot for at least 2, preferably half a gallon, which is 4 bottled waters. But if you can, just do 2. Like as soon as you wake up, chug a water. You're going to be thirsty anyways. And then before the gym, while you're getting ready and stuff, drink another water bottle slowly on your way to the gym. And then of course, while you're at the gym, have another 30, 40 ounces of water. So that by the time you're done at the gym, you've already drank half a gallon. We need our water. It's extremely important, not only for our performance or recovery as well. So make sure if you're training fasted, you drink enough water before you go to the gym. The second group of people, the people who aren't going to train fasted, if you're not that type of person who feels energized, or you just really want to optimize your gym performance and get every little percentage of boost you can get, which is what I do, because I just feel better too when I train with food. I literally feel myself rising in energy. When I have a meal, I can literally, whether I'm going to the gym after or I'm just going about day-to-day life, after lunch, I can literally feel my energy levels increasing which is crazy because most people, they crash after they have lunch, or they crash after meals because that insulin spike. But no, since quitting caffeine, I really don't feel that crash very much. And if I do, it's not nearly the same as I used to when I was on caffeine. After lunch, I'd want to drink another coffee or have an energy drink. Now I just go for a little 10-minute walk, and after lunch, I feel really good. I feel energized. I feel ready for work, or I just feel really productive, ready to train. Whatever I'm going to do, I just feel good and I feel energized. And it's a natural energy. It's not some, I'm up here, I'm on a high. It's just pure, like, stable energy the whole time, which is what you want. You don't want these valleys and peaks with your energy levels. That's just not good. Especially over a long period of time. That's not healthy at all. Second group of people, what I would recommend doing before you train is having a light meal with carbohydrate and protein, making sure there's adequate carbohydrate and protein in the meal. It doesn't have to be a lot of protein. If you track maybe 20 to 30 grams of protein, just one serving of protein. And for your carbohydrates, again, I'd recommend no more than 80 grams of carbohydrates, like 50 grams of carbohydrates to 80 grams, and then let the fats take care of themselves. An example meal that I like to consume before I train, I was in a rush, or this is just a meal I'll eat when I just don't feel like cooking. I'll get a scoop and a half of whey protein, chocolate or vanilla, whatever flavor you like, right? And then I'll get an apple, and that'll be my meal, or a banana. So I'll have some sort of carbohydrate source and some sort of protein source before the gym, and that'll just ensure, you create the best environment, the most optimal environment for recovery, because you're getting in that protein before you work out, and you're getting in those carbohydrates before you work out as well. And you're getting them from fructose because it's fruit. So there's two carbohydrate transport mechanisms. You have glucose and fructose. So if you really, really wanted to optimize your workout, you do like a couple of rice cakes of fruit and whey protein. And that would be a very well-made pre-workout meal. That would ensure you have both carbohydrate transporters working. You have the glucose and the fructose, and I believe there's one more, I'm not sure. I just can't think of it right now. But you'd really optimize your nutrient partitioning and the way the body's able to shuttle nutrients into the muscles and the overall system to provide the most energy. That's a little bit overkill. You don't have to do that, but if you want, that would theoretically 100% optimize your performance by having glucose and fructose transporters both working. You got the fructose with the fruit, and then you got the glucose with the carb source, so like a rice cake or some sort of rice, things like that. Another recommendation I would make is try and stick to low glycemic carb sources that don't spike insulin so much before your workout, because what can happen is if you have too many high glycemic carbs right before your workout, you can literally crash mid-workout. Like if you have a whole bunch of Rice Krispies before you work out, or white rice, and let's say you have white rice and chicken breast. I've seen this happen in certain people. You have white rice and chicken breast, right? A very common meal. What can happen is if you eat that 30 45 minutes before you work out, then you go train, what can happen is halfway through your workout, 30 minutes into your workout, 20 minutes into your workout, you could start crashing because you spike so much insulin with those high glycemic carbs, and you just had chicken breast and white rice. There's no fats or fiber to slow that digestion down, so you're literally crashing mid-workout. You are going hypoglycemic, and that's not good for performance either. You're going to crash and you're going to feel really lethargic. So if you have a meal like that, just try and include fats and fiber. Those usually come naturally, the fats especially, from whatever protein source you're eating. But if you're eating a really lean protein source, maybe throw in a tablespoon of peanut butter or something just to help slow down digestion so you don't run into that problem. It's a little rare, but I've seen it in people who are really trying to be healthy, and they're eating these really high carb, high protein foods with not a lot of fat or fiber. That can definitely happen to you. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys some quick recommendations. I don't want to make this video too drawn out, but especially for the people who are worried about performance. I know I was one of those, or somebody who just wants to have energy but they don't have caffeine. These are some recommendations. Get your carbs in, get a good protein meal in. Get anywhere from 20 to 40 grams, a serving or serving and a half of protein before you train. Get a serving or 2 servings of carbs before you train. If you really want to optimize, get a serving of carbs from not only fruits, but glucose as well, so every other carb source. And try to keep it low glycemic, like oatmeal, whole wheat bread, things like that. You want to get your carbohydrate sources from low glycemic foods preferably, so you avoid that insulin spike and the crash. And really, it's a tweaking process, guys. You have to play with it. See what foods feel best for you. I typically eat that pre-workout meal an hour before I train. After I eat that meal, I'll go for a 10-minute walk because, it's been studied. They improve digestion, improves mood, improves energy levels. And I just like to go for a 10-minute walk. It's a great way to get some steps in, and you don't even think about it. And at the end of the day, you can, get 3,500, 4,000 steps just from taking a walk after every meal, if you do like 3 or 4 meals a day. So those are just my recommendations. Try to get that meal in 60 to 90 minutes before the gym. If you can, do a walk after it, and then go train. And go leave it all at the gym or wherever you're training. Go leave it all at the track. However you're performing your exercise, just go kill it. Once you have those meals in you, you're going to be able to optimize performance. And once you're quitting caffeine, you might feel like crap for the first month, but once you get over that little hill, it's going to be great. You're going to notice an increase in performance, an increase in sleep, most definitely, which really spills over to every aspect of your life. So I can't recommend quitting caffeine enough, guys. And if you've quit, I hope these tips were useful to you. If you have any other tips that you found since you quit caffeine, please let me know down below, because I'm always have an open ear to hear anything. And yeah, thank you for watching.